So one of my best friends, she's not here today. She was human trafficked by Naomi Campbell. And Naomi is also Diddy's the godmother. So she started meeting with all these famous people, and they connected her with certain people. And then all of a sudden she's at these parties, and I see she's doing drugs and getting out of control. And eventually I had to start rescuing her from parties, and then a few of the times I had to rescue her from Naomi Campbell's apartment.
Locked me in containers with his shipment of. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies. They were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move.
This is a direct character assassination. I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past. What he's done.
Ali Carter just called out Naomi Campbell in a major way, dropping never-before-revealed details about alleged disturbing activities happening on her private island. That island has sparked endless speculation due to its demonic imagery and Naomi's well-documented ties to some of the shadiest figures imaginable, from Diddy and Epstein to Harvey Weinstein and corrupt African leaders, not to mention her involvement with a questionable charity. Word is she's been accused of luring unsuspecting African women to Europe under false modeling promises, only to trap them in years of exploitation. Ali Carter has become one of the most vocal voices calling out not just industry mistreatment, but actual rituals, symbolism, and witchcraft that powerful figures allegedly practice to maintain their status. Hollywood has been drowning in conspiracy theories for decades about celebrities making satanic pacts, hosting secret masked gatherings, the Illuminati, Bohemian Grove, energy harvesting, and other sinister practices. Films like Eyes Wide Shut are believed by many to be less fiction and more revelation of how deep this shadowy world truly runs. Then there's Naomi Campbell's private island, literally designed in the shape of the ancient Egyptian god Horus, specifically his eye. This isn't just some random design choice. It references a violent myth where Horus loses his eye battling Set and has it reconstructed fragment by fragment. It symbolizes power born from destruction. When you build an entire island around that symbol, it goes beyond decoration and becomes a statement of dominance, surveillance, and control. In a world already consumed by power, secrecy, and influence, adopting such imagery connects directly to ritual practices and energy manipulation. If you've been paying attention to recent headlines, Naomi's been getting dragged for her shady connections with the most questionable characters you can imagine. Her name appeared in the recent Epstein files, and as anyone would expect, she was knee-deep in trouble. Documents released by the DOJ show Naomi in Epstein's flight logs, with her name linked to his island operations. One report revealed she took 5 flights on the Lolita Express between 2001 and 2003, 2 departing from the U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein owned property infamous for wild gatherings, with some flights heading towards Sao Paulo, Brazil. Jeffrey was also a constant fixture at Victoria's Secret shows, and the two were frequently seen leaving events together. Naomi's story is that she had zero clue who Epstein was until her ex-boyfriend Flavio Briatore introduced them at her 31st birthday in 2001.
I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center at Victoria's Secret shows.
Did you suspect what he was doing?
No. And what he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach, just like everybody else. Because I've had my fair share of predators, and thank God that I had good people around me that protected me from this. I mean, right now I stand with the victims. I can't, they're scarred for life.
Honestly, nobody was shocked when she denied everything, because that's her go-to strategy every single time she's caught near questionable men she shouldn't be anywhere close to. She's a master at staring into cameras and lying without flinching, even with mountains of evidence stacked against her. For someone who constantly claims ignorance about what these men do, she sure has a pattern of showing up in their circles. She used the exact same playbook when her connections to Harvey Weinstein surfaced, and despite sitting through interviews swearing she knew nothing about Epstein's crimes, multiple emails buried in those documents prove she and Epstein were actively coordinating plans. Girl, she sounded absolutely desperate. Some people even suspect Jeffrey was funneling her money for handling his dirty work.
So one of my best friends, she's not here today. She was human trafficked by Naomi Campbell. And Naomi is also Diddy's the godmother. So she started meeting with all these famous people, and they connected her with certain people. And then all of a sudden she's at these parties, and I see she's doing drugs and getting out of control. And eventually I had to start rescuing her from parties. And then a few of the times I had to rescue her from Naomi Campbell's apartment, sleep over, and then I would pick her up and bring her to her apartment because she was so high on.
What kind of she doing?
Everything. She had they provide the drug for you. So she would open her purse and it would just be everything, whatever you wanted. It was like a pharmacy.
Who would open the purse?
Oh, she would. Oh, she's like, what do you need, Babs? Do you need anything? I would say, I don't do anything. Oh, come on, just smoke a joint with me. I'm like, I'm not smoking anything. I didn't trust her anymore either.
On top of everything, videos resurfaced showing her recruiting women with promises of modeling careers. Not a single one of those women ever actually hit a runway. What became of those women remains a mystery nobody seems willing or able to answer. Clips also emerged of her doing charity work in Kenya, which people are now scrutinizing through a completely different lens. Ali Carter has repeatedly stated that actual video evidence exists proving everything she's been claiming. Supposedly, there's damning footage against Naomi as well. Where exactly Ali obtained this information remains unclear, but she alleges this is why Naomi received that 25-bedroom Egyptian Eye of Horus mansion from her ex-boyfriend, Russian billionaire Vladislav Doronin, reportedly as a 41st birthday gift. That island keeps appearing in Epstein-related discussions. People claim it may have been used for performing all kinds of horrific acts. Apparently, these tapes are the reason she hasn't been silenced by the elites. Obviously, I can't verify or dismiss Ali Carter's allegations. What I can say is she's been remarkably accurate about what was happening at Epstein's Island long before any files went public. So it's hardly surprising people are taking her claims seriously. She even claims she was sent there herself at just 15 years old.
4-year-olds that people take pride in sticking bars of children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds to horse stables and have horses and dogs with them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang upside down in satanic ritual meetings, and they literally hang them. Literally, by metal prongs, they hang them to get dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall to take their blood.
Things keep getting worse for Naomi. A video recently surfaced featuring American-based Kenyan influencer Elsa Majimbo accusing Naomi of pulling her into her inner circle and repeatedly attempting to arrange meetings with wealthy older men. Once Elsa realized what was happening, she made it crystal clear she wanted nothing to do with it. That decision apparently didn't sit well with Naomi, who allegedly had her blacklisted from the industry. Remember, Elsa was only 19 at the time and just starting her career. Beyond that, Elsa hasn't been the same person since that whole situation. One glance at her Instagram reveals she's clearly lost her energy and enthusiasm.
Naomi was coming to Nairobi to do some shopping. She was on holiday, but on a remote place. So she was in Nairobi doing shopping. And I texted her and she told me she's in Nairobi. So I was so excited to meet her. She was the first celebrity I was ever going to meet. Guys, I was through the roof. She texted me, she was like, hey, I'm here. She texted me the location. I went directly. I went with my brother. So my brother and I, we met her, we did some shopping. And as we're shopping, she's like, oh, you know, the plane that's taking us back actually has couple more seats. Do you and your brother want to join us on holiday? Hell yes. So I was like, oh, that would be so lovely. She introduced me to a couple of people. in Hollywood, if people she was on vacation with were coming to Nairobi after the vacation. They were staying at the Kempinski. So I went to see them at the Kempinski when the whole thing was over. So I sat down with them, I was talking to one of them, and one of them was like, oh, it's so, like, how did you meet Naomi? And I was like, oh, no, I texted her on Instagram, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, yeah, she told us, like, she made you and she built you and she made your career. And I was like, what? No, that's not what happened. And I was like, you mean like helped me and like promoted me? And she was like, no, like what you have is because of her. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that didn't happen. Time goes by. March 2022. We have jumped into March 2022. I get a phone call. My phone is ringing. Naomi Campbell. Oh, so I pick up. I'm like, hey sis, like how are you? How are you doing? And she's like, Elsa, how dare you? Oh! So I'm in shock, right? I'm in shock. I don't know what's going on. She was like, this is the last time I'm speaking to you. Have a nice life. And she hung up. Which I was like, I was very saddened by the situation, right? But I was like, if that's how she truly feels, because I respect people's space. So I was like, if that's how she truly feels, fine, it's okay. So I let it go. So after that, like a few months, things started going very badly for me. Things started going haywire. And I didn't think it was, I thought it was because of the situation, let me not lie. But I was like, you know, also it can be stress. So I was like, let me go. Because also having someone like Naomi Campbell not liking you in the industry is not a good thing. So I went to her, I apologized. I'd already apologized when the situation had happened, but I went and I apologized again and again. I started calling her, I started texting her. And then one day she just texted me and she was like, stop calling me. I have a child to take care of. So after that, I just said, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I started drinking. That's why I even quit alcohol. I started drinking. I started drinking a lot. Yeah. And then, because I wasn't sure why things were going so wrong and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then a few months later, I met Edward Enifo at a party, and Edward Enifo is one of, oh my goodness, he's one of the people I adore the most. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's Edward, I have to go say hi. So I'm like, hey Edward, I'm such a big fan. And he looks at me, he's like, I know you. And then he said something that made me think the situation with Naomi was causing like some of the trials and tribulations I was currently going.
Epstein isn't even the only sketchy mess Naomi's gotten wrapped up in. Back in 2010, she was summoned to testify against former Liberian President Charles Taylor after he gifted her blood diamonds during a visit to Nelson Mandela's home in South Africa. For background, Charles was arrested in 2006 and charged with supplying weapons to Sierra Leone's Revolutionary United Front rebels during the brutal civil war lasting from 1991 to 2002. He trained and commanded rebels responsible for horrifying atrocities against civilians, including hacking off hands and legs of innocent victims. The diamonds he later gave Naomi were among the resources he collected while all this violence unfolded. When the story initially emerged, Naomi denied everything and literally walked out of an interview when questioned about it. But once she was legally required to appear in court, she shifted her story and confessed she did receive diamonds that were supposedly delivered by two unknown men who appeared at her door in the middle of the night. She also insisted she never kept them and donated them to charity immediately.
You received a diamond from Charles.
I didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that. Thank you very much. And I'm not here for that.
Well, we've been told that you didn't help the prosecution sort of in this very important case.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Sorry. Goodbye.
But what she told ABC News was a lie. She did receive diamonds from Taylor, as she acknowledged under oath today, describing a bizarre middle-of-the-night scene outside her bedroom.
When I was sleeping, I had a knock at my door, and I opened my door, and two men were there and gave me a pouch and said, "A gift for you."
Did you ask them who they were?
No. I was extremely tired. When they gave me the pouch, I just put it next to my bed and went back to bed.
What did you think the stones were?
They were kind of dirty-looking pebbles. They were dirty, I don't know. When I'm used to seeing diamonds, I'm used to seeing diamonds shiny and in a box, you know.
someone hadn't said they were diamonds, I wouldn't have guessed right away that they were diamonds.
Nobody actually believed that explanation, though, especially since both her former assistant, Carol White, and actress Mia Farrow, who were both there on that trip, stated Naomi knew exactly where those diamonds originated and was completely happy to accept them. Carol claimed Naomi was all over Charles that entire evening, and when the diamonds showed up, she was clearly thrilled and proudly displayed them. Based on all this evidence, it's pretty obvious Naomi loves wealth and luxury, even if acquiring it means engaging in questionable behavior. I don't know if authorities will ever genuinely investigate Naomi, but she appears far dirtier than most people realize. As expected, people shared their reactions like this commenter who wrote, "I remember hearing about Naomi Campbell 15 years ago. I would consider her a trafficker and procurer of children. She is no innocent person or victim whatsoever. She is as bad, if not worse, than Ghislaine Maxwell. They're all monsters. Someone needs to start holding these people accountable before regular people just snap and start holding them accountable themselves." Another person commented, "She knows everything about what was happening. She has been proven to be a liar, and she should be charged for any crime she committed, just like anyone else." Now, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Naomi Campbell getting exposed by Ali Carter? Do you really believe Naomi will face investigation soon? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other incredibly messy video.